couple of weeks ago, the Scott Games Twitter account released an August roadmap to show everything that was releasing for the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's. But what caught a lot of people's eyes was what is releasing on August 6th. On August 6th, a collaboration between Five Nights at Freddy's and some other IP will be announced. Now, a lot of people have speculated Dead by Daylight or even Fortnite, because on the exact same day, Fortnite happens to have a big update. Now, a lot of people think this is going to be a video game collaboration, but what if it wasn't? What if it was some sort of real-life collaboration? What if it was a collaboration with Universal's Halloween Horror Nights? In this video, we will be speculating on some real-life collaborations that Five Nights at Freddy's could be a part of. Now for our first question, could Five Nights at Freddy's be coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2024 at Universal Studios? Now, Universal is no stranger to making haunted houses about popular franchises in Halloween Horror Nights. For example, A Quiet Place and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire are both getting haunted houses at Universal Studios Orlando. 10 houses will be at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando this year, and only 8 of them have been announced, leaving 2 themes unknown. According to some sources, all the houses are to be announced by mid-August, so it's possible that this could line up with the August 6th collab announcement. Now, Universal and Five Nights at Freddy's are a little more connected than you might think. For example, they were involved in the production of Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's film adaptation. And Five Nights at Freddy's did make an appearance at Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights last year, but it wasn't a haunted house, it was just a display of the animatronics, and while a lot of people thought that was cool, some were left wondering what a full-on collaboration with FNAF and Halloween Horror Nights could look like. Also, there were little teasers around the park during last year's Halloween Horror Nights that hinted at Blumhouse's return for Halloween Horror Nights 2024. None of these teasers really teased a Five Nights at Freddy's collaboration, but it did show that Blumhouse would be a part of this year's Halloween Horror Nights, meaning that there's always a possibility of Five Nights at Freddy's appearing. But these teasers did hint at the possibility of another Blumhouse film appearing at this year's Halloween Horror Nights, that being Imaginary. And this was before the movie even released, and I think that Blumhouse thought this would be their next big film, and unfortunately it didn't do extremely well. It made its budget back, and I'm pretty sure it was a success, but it wasn't nearly as popular as Freddy's, it didn't make near as much money, and it didn't receive great reviews. So it is possible that after Imaginary's theatrical release, Blumhouse said to Universal, listen, we planned on this appearing at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights this year, it didn't go as planned, let's just throw in a Freddy house. But there's a problem with the possibility of a FNAF house. Universal always tries to make their houses really authentic to the movies they were based off of, and animatronics are really expensive. So I don't know if Universal will be willing to put a lot of money into making multiple Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy animatronics for a haunted house that will only be open for a limited time. But there are other ways that Five Nights at Freddy's can make it into Halloween Horror Nights. For example, Scare Zones. Scare Zones are basically smaller versions of haunted houses where you can see and interact with your favorite characters from horror movies. For example, last year there were multiple women that would dress up like Megan and break dance in the middle of the street with machetes. Now they could do something similar to this where they got somebody in a Freddy costume to stand in front of a pizzeria cutout and take pictures with fans. Now the next way is probably the most unlikely way that they would include Five Nights at Freddy's and Halloween Horror Nights, but they could do this. At Universal Orlando and possibly other Universal locations, there is a pizzeria called Louie's, and I swear to God they have some of the best pizza I've ever eaten in my life. So, if they were to go all out, they could do this. They could throw a Freddy Fazbear sign similar to the sign from the movie over the Louie's sign, change the menu items to have FNAF related names, and maybe even put realistic FNAF animatronics inside the pizzeria until Halloween Horror Nights is over. And I know I said earlier that animatronics are really expensive, but it costs a lot less money to make one of each character rather than to have multiple of each character spread throughout a haunted house. Now, what if this wasn't a Universal collab, but it was still a collaboration in real life? Well, I've seen some people suggest this, but it could be a collaboration with Spirit of Halloween. Now, if any of you have ever been to one of these, you'll know that they're really good with creating massive, scary animatronics, some of these being from movies. And some have suggested the possibility of Spirit of Halloween creating life-size versions of the animatronics as Halloween decorations. And some of you might be saying it might cost too much, but this is a company well known for creating massive animatronics of horror icons. And here is my final idea for a real-life Five Nights at Freddy's collaboration. A while back, an X aka Twitter account opened up for a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza delivery service, and this Twitter account has been inactive since 2022, unfortunately. But it is possible that they could have been working behind the scenes this entire time setting up the pizza delivery system, and now they're going to announce it on August 6th. If this was to become a thing, it would most likely be a collaboration with a ghost kitchen. Now, if you don't know what a ghost kitchen is, think of Mr. Beast's restaurant, Beast Burger, which has unfortunately closed. And a lot of you are probably thinking this is probably a hoax, but before the Twitter account was created, there was a website where you could apply to be a part of this pizza delivery service. Also, I've seen this exact same Freddy logo used on a lot of FNAF merch, so maybe it was hinting at this pizza service releasing? I guess we'll just have to wait until August 6th to find out for ourselves. But just remember, it's a collab announcement on August 6th, not the release, meaning it's hinting towards something that's to release in the future, so all of these ideas are possible. But anyways, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you'd like to help support the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. But until next time, this has been Fowl.